The Renault Clio League is here, as drivers are going to head out onto the circuits to get their times in. Here's turn number 1, as we then head down towards turn 2 of the Andretti hairpin, keeping it tight to the inside, then pushing it very wide, keeping 2 wheels on the circuit though, right up to that sausage curve on the inside, keeping it extremely tight there over the second sausage curve. Is that the way to do it then? Put yourself even tighter than we've been seeing before. Through turn number 3 here. Keep it on the curbing. Don't want to go onto the gravel. Into turn number 4. Again, pushing onto the curbing, staying off the gravel. Going to go up towards turn number 5. Second left-hander on the corner, on the circle. Third left-hander technically, but it is the second one that you really feel. And this is the corner where you can really throw it away before the corkscrew. Turn number 6, running right over that curbing, gets over the inside curbing, pushes it as hard as he can, up towards the corkscrew now. Turn 7 is his right kink. Turn 8 is the corkscrew itself, onto the brakes, gets it to the inside, a little bit of a correction on his wheel there, turning right to go left. As he comes through rainy curve of turn number 9. Don't want to push it too hard here and get your lap invalidated just yet. Fastest lap on the board for Stephen Hurd. He goes fastest overall so far as Jukovic goes up towards the final turn of turn 11. He tucks it in and he's going to come across the line. Where is that going to put Jukovic? On our grid order, it puts him into P1. It is the fastest out on track for Jukovic right now. All of our odd numbers are going to be starting in heat race 1. So that's Milan Jukovic will be starting pole in heat race 1. All of your even numbers are heat race 2. So therefore, Stephen Hurd, will be starting heat race 2 from pole. Then you got Mohamed El Harari, Matt Malone, Harry Fox, Neil Rocks, Clayton McBuller, Mark Codd, Bob Poplet, and Ian Lane are your top 10, and therefore your top 5 in each of the heats. We are green and we are away here for heat race number 1. All of the drivers heading up towards turn number 1. Here they come. As they go, looking like they're going to try and go single file at the front. No, they're going to go 2 by 2 at the front as well. But it is going to be Jukovic up the inside who's going to hold it side by side for El Harari and Fox behind. It looks like they've just been able to settle themselves down enough as we come through turn number 4 and up towards turn number 4. And El Harari holds on to second ahead of Harry Fox. Some battling going on behind here. Side by side, we've got Dempsey going on the rear end of the number 727 machine, but he is stuck on the outside of another driver as well as we head up towards turn number 6. And he's going to be side by side. The 36 gets the curbing. He settles back down. Kevin Anfield settles the car in 7th position as we head up towards the corkscrew. He is no longer settled as he's got Lincecum Hatfield up his inside. Hatfield gets it and he makes the move. Hatfield not wanting to have a D2 driver next to him because he's just put Matty Quill as well, as there is more battles going on here. Matt Quill goes up the inside of Jared Swain. There's contact between Swain and Tebow. Zach Tebow moves to the inside and it looks like he's going to hold that position for P10, and he does. Both Dempsey and Hatfield run slightly onto the gravel there. That could have been a 1X. There's contact. Dempsey wiggles his bum, but through goes Lincecum Hatfield up the inside. They're side by side. Dempsey is not giving up with that yet, but he's going to have to. Lincecum Hatfield moves into 6th. Dempsey moves down to 7th overall, but Dempsey's coming back at it. He doesn't care that Lincecum Hatfield is in Division 2. He wants that 6th position overall, and he goes up the inside of the corkscrew. A little bit of a lockup. They're both onto the gravel with 2 tyres. They're going to bring that up, and here comes Anfield. Anfield up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield. He does it as Poplar moves to try and go for a move past Magbulla. Well, Magbulla, sorry, trying to go for a move past Poplar here up towards the final turn, and he does it. Magbulla is up the position as Anfield goes up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield. They are still side by side, and that has brought Matt Gwilym back into this fight. He's in 9th position. He is the back of the D1 class right now, but he is going to want to try and get past Anfield. Anfield is up the inside. Magbulla holds on Poplar, but Anfield is up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield here for P number 7 overall, and he looks like he's going to just try and force him slightly onto the gravel. He's now on the outside line. I'm sure that Hatfield is going to try and return the favour. No, they settle themselves down. They're okay. Dempsey still on the rear end. Here goes Anfield. He tried just a bit too hard into the final turn, and he throws it off the track. That promotes Matt Gwilym, who has got past Lincoln Hatfield on the exit of the final turn up towards turn number 2. But here goes Dempsey. He looks to the inside of Poplar. No, he doesn't. He's going to go for the better exit. Maybe some better speed if he can. It looks like Magbulla's going to pull just enough of a gap. But here goes Dempsey to the outside of Poplar. They're side by side up to the corkscrew. Who's going to break later? There's contact. A huge amount of contact. Poplar's off. And here comes Matt Gwilym. Matt Gwilym goes through. Dempsey drops back to 6th. But Jukovic, he is through the final corner. And from pole, here in Heat 1, he wins ahead of Hellueri and Harry Fox. Magbulla's going to get it, but Dempsey is trying his hardest to defend 6th from Travis Lincoln Hatfield. And he does it. And is he going to do it across the line? It's a side-by-side sprint. The photo finish across the line. It was Jukovic leading the way ahead of El Herreri. Harry Fox came home in 3rd ahead of Clayton Magbulla and Matt Gwilym. Richard Dempsey came home in 6th. Travis Lincoln Hatfield came home 7th overall, 1st in class. Jared Swaim 8th overall, 2nd in class. Bob Public came home in 9th. Kevin Anfield in 10th position. 11th position was Zach Tebow, followed by Zach Gould, Brendan Lobb, Neil Trotter, and Lewis Cardona. As we are green, and that is someone not on the line. Slugger is stopped on the line there. Slugger not moving off of the line. It looks like that was Timothy Rosenfield stuck on the line, but up towards turn number 1, and Stephen Hurd is going to be side by side. Matt Malone goes up the inside. Can he make that stick for the lead here? He's on the outside of turn number 3. He drops behind. He's going to have to leave Hurd to the first position spot for now. Neil Rock's just behind, as this is Timothy Rosenfeld. He has finally got started, but he is down to the back of the field by a long way. It is now just clean laps for him to get that extra bonus point. Side by side here, it is JC Cook having to let Riley Downey through. Downey makes his way through, but has now got John C. Cook looking to get through, and he can't quite do it. He's going to have to stick behind for now, but off track goes Riley Downey. He's wobbling, he's wobbling, he's wobbling. He saves it. He gets it straight after a series of wobbles, but he is now behind John Cook, and down to 7th position is Matt Malone. He's in 2nd, looking to the inside of Stephen Hurd for the race lead out the final turn. He can't quite do it. Now he's got Neil Rocks with some good pace just behind him, and Rocks is now on the outside of Malone through turn number 1, and he's going to be on the outside of Malone up to Andretti hairpin turn number 2. Malone's going to look for a later break. He does so, and he gets it positioned just perfectly to block off Neil Rocks. Almost went for the attack on Hurd, couldn't quite switch it around for that move, so he is currently still in 2nd position, and he moves into 6th, and here comes Cridlin now. He's going to be on the inside of Cook up towards the corkscrew if he can get the overlap. He decides not to risk it. He backs out, as that is Ian Lane off at the corkscrew. Ian Lane throws it off the track and will lose a podium position chance here. He's down to 5th, trying to defend from Riley Downey now. He's able to do so. And you can see Matty Quidland and Cook side by side. Quidland up the inside here, up towards turn number 2. Is he going to be able to go up the inside of Downey as well? No, he doesn't, but he is still side by side with Cook. Can Quidland get the position on Cook? Yes, he can. Quidland in a 371 moves past the 303 of Cook and is up the order, which is just what he wants to see, as Cook is going to be all over the rear end once more. Some position battling going behind. There's contact. The 420 and more contact. The 9 involved. A huge hit for Richard Edgar, as it is going to be side by side once more, but it is Cook ahead of Quidland. Oh, that looked like it was about to be a love tap with Quidland, just gives Cook the inside of turn number 13, and here comes Quidland as well, deciding to try and take full advantage of Cook's move past Downey. Quidland looked to the inside, couldn't quite do it. Lane is behind. Is he going to go for the outside or the inside? He goes for the inside line. Hansvik brakes a little bit later. Lane brakes a little bit earlier. But there you go. That's the late braking from Hansvik. A lockup. Lane's up his inside. They're side by side. Hansvik holds it just ahead. Lane's going to have to wait behind for now. Side by side between Hansvik and Lane as they come through turn number 9 into 10. Hansvik holds the inside. Lane's on the outside. It's going to turn to the inside line at the final turn. Hansvik brakes a bit earlier, trying to go for the switchback. It doesn't work. Lane has got that position, and he is allowing Quidland on his inside. It turns to the outside of turn 3. They're side by side. Who is going to come out on top? It's going to be Matty Quidland. Is it going to be Riley Downey? Downey is on the inside. He pushes Quidland all the way to the edge of the circuit. Quidland keeps it on though. Still side by side. Quidland is now going to have the inside line. Downey is surely going to have to hold this hand this to him, and he does. But he tucks straight in. It looks like he might go for a move up towards turn number 6. No, he's sensible. He stays behind. He knows he's got another lap. Hansvik gets back past Lane up ahead. They're side by side. Lane on the outside. Hansvik on the inside of the corkscrew. That's a slide for Hansvik. He slides into Lane. And here comes Cook in the middle, making it 3 wide. Hansvik moves up to 4th. Cook is in 5th. Lane in 6th. Lane really did not have anywhere to go, but it's racing. That's how it goes. Cook to the inside of Hansvik. Hansvik on the grass. So is Quidland behind. That's another try from Downey to get the inside of Quidland, but he goes extremely deep. As they up the inside goes Lane through turn number 5. He's going to be there into 6th. There is Hansvik trying to get to the inside as well. He can't do it. Lane touches the gravel. Cook is behind in 5th. Hansvik in 6th, and that has allowed Quidland to get into this fight as well. And Quidland is going to go for the move on Hansvik. Can't quite do it. Here comes Hurd to win Heat 2. Matt Malone to take P2. Neil Rocks in 3rd. But in that fight for 4th, Ian Lane is going to come home in 4th. Ahead of Cook, Hansvik, Quidland and Downey. Risto Westman coming home in 9th, followed by Anthony Hilton. Timothy Rosenfeld, after not getting off the line, will come round the final corner to take home 11th, and hopefully a clean race and a bonus point for him. Edward Ayala comes home 12th, followed by Mark Codd, and out of the race was Richard Edgar. We are green and we are away here at Laguna Seca for the first feature race of the season, as 29 Clios head up towards turn number 1. I just can't even keep an eye on everything that's happening. The good news is for Jukovic, he has held on to P number 1 ahead of El Hieri. Herd into third past Matt Malone as they come through up to turn number 5. There is Jukovic, some battling going on in the background, and a lot of drives involved in this. There's Timothy Rosenfeld involved in that. Zig Tebow, there's some contact. They've all settled themselves down though. If you complete this one clean, you get 2 bonus points if you finish on the lead lap. But all of the drivers heading through in this 15-minute race, they seem to have sorted themselves down as they head up through turn number 6. Right now, Matt Malone has lost it to Harry Fox as well. Has not had the best of starts. Riley Downey down to 20th, trying to settle himself down as well. With cars ahead, his Hansvik is off at the corkscrew. After a great race in Heat 2, Hansvik is off. He is side by side with Anthony Hilton. Hilton gets that position and will move up into 17th place. But at the end of lap number 1 here is Jukovic, your leader. That's in the background, as that is, I believe that's Mark Cord getting involved. More cars in. I think that was Hansvik as well involved in that one. A lot of cars involved. It's past Matt Grill. Matt Grill actually is slightly wide here. Got passed by Linscomb Hatfield. And here he comes up the inside, trying to defend Riley Downey. Downey gets it on the outside. And after winning Heat 1 for Division 2, Linscomb Hatfield, Jared Swaim has moved past into the lead of D2. He's 12th overall. Up towards turn 10. Ian Lane goes to the inside. There was a little bit of a nudge there, but that was definitely Netcode. More contact. And that is a big crash. Ian Lane. Huge wreck. He's going to turn it around. But look at that damage on the front end. A lot of cars involved in that one. As this is El Hieri, because Stephen Hurd moves into second position ever so slightly. 3 cars all in a train here. This is Dempsey leading Cook, leading Cridland. We've seen Cridland and Cook fighting it out already on track. Dempsey, he was fighting out with a different group of drivers in Heat Race 1, but he's involved in this fight now. Is he going to move out of the way? It's lights flashing from Jukovic. He dives to the inside. Hurd follows him through. Cardonas does stay out of the way. The gap 0.3 of a second. Closing down to 2.5 tenths of a second. Down to 2 tenths of a second before the brakes. Jukovic just stronger on the brakes into the corner, but Hurd finds the time on the exit. That's what you want. Heading up towards turn number 6. The gap is 1/10 of a second for the race lead here at Feature Race 1 in Season 2, Round 1 of the Renault Clio League. We come up towards the corkscrew. 0.2 of a second. Again, Hurd braking a little bit earlier. The gap increasing under the brakes. Will it close down again on the exit? Yes, but it doesn't close anywhere near as much. Jukovic just slightly faster through turn number 9 up towards turn 10. It looks like Milan Jukovic winning Heat Race number 1 from pole position, where he got 3 bonus points for pole. He would have got the 10 points for winning Heat Race 1. He will get 25 points for winning Feature Race 1. Stephen Hurd takes second position, followed by El Hieri. Matt Malone crosses the line ahead of Harry Fox. How has he done that? Let's have a watch at the end here for the battle for P4. Malone behind Fox. He looks to the inside through the final turn. They're side by side. It's a sprint race to the line. But Matt Malone just has the speed and he takes 4th position. Milan Jukovic won that race by 0.3 of a second ahead of Stephen Hurd. Mohamed El Hieri finished in 3rd position ahead of Matt Malone, who just took it from Harry Fox. Neil Rocks finished in 6th ahead of Richard Dempsey. Matty Cridland took 8th ahead of John Cook. And Travis Lingscombe Hatfield took 10th, winning Division number 2 here in the feature race. Matt Gwillam took 11th ahead of Kevin Anfield. Jared Swain took 13th and 2nd in Division 2. Mark Codd took 14th, followed by Riley Downey. And Timothy Rosenfield recovering from his issues at the start of Heat 2. Zach Tebow took 3rd in Division 2 and 17th overall, followed by Richard Edgar, Ian Lane, Ristro Westman as your top 20. It was Anthony Hilton in 23rd, Zach Gould behind, followed by Bob Poplet and Clayton McBooler. And Edward Ayala was your last driver on the lead lap and eligible for any bonus points that they may get for clean racing. Lewis Cardona took 26th position a lap down, followed by Brendan Lobb and Neil Trotter. And Michael Hanswick went out quite early on in that race, 8 laps down after we saw that rather large accident. The green lights are out. We are away here at Laguna Seca for feature race number 2 on our first invert. There all of the cars go up towards turn number 1. Can Trotter hold it up towards turn 1? 4, 5, 6 abreast. Into turn 1 they go. Car stopped on the outside line there. Very slow. Car off as well into the gravel. Couple of cars off. Lots of cars off. There goes the bonus points for a lot of drivers. Half the field involved in that wreck at the back there. The leading drivers settle themselves down. Everyone else is going to have to recover. No bonus points on offer for any of them. Neil Trotter still is going to try and hold on. He's 4th right now though, because it is Poplet who has moved his way into the lead ahead of McDoulas. That Gold in 3rd position. Poplet and McDoulas both Division 1. They're going to want to take full advantage of that, as some of the drivers involved in that earlier wreck are coming through here. Some damage for each of them, some of them just trying to keep it clean. Risto Westman moves up into 4th as McBooler goes up the inside of the corkscrew. He can't do it, so it's the outside. Poplet held the inside. Through goes Zach Gould. Gould leading Division number 2 here in 2nd overall as we come to end lap number 1. In this 20-minute race, it'll be about 13 laps. A huge amount of shifting positions on this opening lap as McBooler goes to the outside of Gould. He slides. I think there was some contact, but they hold on to it. McBooler comes across and will hold on to 2nd. Drivers side by side here, almost 3 wide. That's Ian Lane involved in this one, as he is behind Neil Trotter and Anthony Hilton up towards turn number 2 they go. Lane on the outside. That was Westman going into Lane's path. Is Hilton now on the outside. Westman on the inside line. Gives his position to Brendan Lobb. That's side by side. Lobb touches Dempsey. Dempsey holds it up the inside. Penalty for Brendan Lobb. Is that a slowdown, or is that already an incident limit for Brendan Lobb? I think that's already an incident limit. There's contact. Malone and Lobb go together. Lobb is off the circuit and is going to have to come down pit lane back. And Neil Rocks gets past Stephen Hurd. They're side by side in this 2x2 battle through turn number 2. They sort themselves out though. Neil Rocks ahead and around goes Kevin Anfield. Is that? No, who is that? That's Neil Trotter. Neil Trotter, the man who started this race in 1st. Some smoke for Risto Westman. He's down as a major wobble for Dempsey as he goes to the inside of Westman. Malone goes to the inside as well. A huge amount of curbing. It's going to be 3 wide. Malone settles down on the outside though. He's on the outside of Westman here. Westman is doing his hardest to try and hold on to position. Being a D1 driver, these positions do matter to him. Dempsey is through though. Malone is through as El Huari is trying to move up the order as well. He is certainly another massive gainer in this race alongside Matt Malone. Those two, huge gainer, as that is Richard Dempsey. That was Richard Dempsey on the inside without anything on the front of his car. Black and yellow car, and Mark Codd goes to that inside line there as well. So that means that Matt Gwilym is going to be left behind, and that's contact. And that is going to be a huge slide for Neil Rock. Somehow he stays ahead of the pack. I don't know how, but Matt Malone gets past Division 2 leader of Zach Gould, moves into P4 and will be hunting down Ian Lane. El Hilary gets through up the inside of Gould as well. Is he going to be able to hold that position? He does in the number 15 car. And not. El Hilary moves to the left-hand side. Is Matt Malone going to fight for this position, or is he going to try and use Mohamed El Hilary to go up the order? He's very wide. He's let him through. Matt Malone is letting him through. He's going to try and work with him, I'm sure, to try and catch Ian Lane, who is leaving even more smoke down on the circuit at the moment. But Cod stays ahead. Gwilym's now got Neil Rock right behind him as well. Zach Thibault is involved as that looks like an opportunity ahead for Hurd, buying attacked here by Cod, because Gould was going slightly slowly. But here goes Gwilym on the outside as Gould goes off the circuit. Gwilym is going to push him along. No, he's not. He's going to move over to the left. As 5 cars involved in this fight here as they head up towards turn number 1. It is Hurd leading the way ahead of Cod. Who's going to lead the way? Is it going to be... Oh, Gould's off! Gould is off! After leading Division 2 for the first half of this race, he is off of the track. But McBula is all over the rear. He's going to need to decide which way is he going to go. Is he going to go around the outside or the inside? He's gone to the outside. Poplar's going to break. He's broken a little bit earlier, actually. But Buller trying to go for the switchback on the exit, can't do it. Ian Lane on the outside. Is he going to do the same thing that Matt Malone did and just let him through? Yes, he does. Ian Lane doing the same thing that Matt Malone did, allowing El Hilary through. So close to all these drivers getting onto the curbing, and that's Stephen Hurd with a penalty. Kevin Anfield with a penalty. And that is going to be Stephen Hurd. He will have to stop. He has reached the incident limit. Stephen Hurd has flown up the field, but will need to pit with Kevin Anfield. A lot of changing positions as more penalties. Matt Gwilym and Zach Thibault all with penalties as well. Bula needs to have been fighting. Well, these two have been in the leading 2 position for quite some time. A big slide though for McBula. He has just lost about 6/10 of a second to Poplar. And once again, McBula is right on the rear end of Poplar. What's going to happen this time up to the corkscrew? Can he keep it nice and smooth? He goes for the outside line, trying to avoid contact. And once again, that gap increases. Once again, McBula closes up. Once again, Poplar's going to go defensive up towards the braking zone. Braking a bit earlier this time for McBula. Is he going to go for the exit? Gravel from Poplar. 0.3 of a second. It looks like Poplar may have just been able to hold on to this one. Perfect placement through the corkscrew. Here in feature race 2, the last race of the day. 4 races up towards the final turn. Defending from Poplar. There's contact. McBula is going to try and get the faster exit, but he can't do it. Poplar wins at Laguna Seca feature race 2. Bob Poplar won by less than 0.2 of a second to Clayton McBula. El Hilary recovered with the reverse grid and got all the way up to P3 and is definitely the hard charger winner for 6 additional points. Ian Lane got 4th, followed by Matt Malone in 5th. Mark Codd came home in 6th position ahead of Neil Rocks. Anthony Hilton in 8th, followed by Risto Ressman and Jared Swaim, rounding out your top 10. Richard Dempsey took home 11th ahead of Matty Cridland. Harry Fox in 13th ahead of John Cook. Milan Jukovic does not get points in this race after winning Heat 1 and Feature 1. Stephen Hurd finished in 16th ahead of Kevin Anfield. Travis Linscomb Hatfield, Division 2 Race 1 and Heat Race 1 winner and Feature Race 1 winner, does not win Division 2 here in Feature Race 2. Zach Gould was up there for so long but couldn't quite hold it after going off the track. and down to 19th. Richard Edgar in 20th position. The back of the field was Zach Thibault, Brandon Lobb, and Edward Ayala. Matt Gwillim, Lewis Cardona, Neil Trotter, Timothy Rosenfeld, and Riley Downey all out of this race. We have got a fantastic calendar heading your way. If you want to get down on track, join now before the league is closed, because we do have a fantastic amount of drivers signed up for season number 2. For the Renault Clio League, we'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.